Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Welcome to Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler. We have a wonderful guest today, Lady Kendal Jaggar. Talk about this lady coming from a place of service and helping and inspiring and uplifting others. Mental health is a subject that's really, really important to me. And this lady is really paving the way for mental health. She's a journalist. She is a presenter, radio show host. There's so many facets to what she does, so I won't read out all of her things that she does. We could be here a long time, so I'm really looking forward to Lady Kendal Jaggar coming onto the show. I just want to make an official shout out to our show sponsors, Dreamweaver Artist Ranch. We are streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. We're also streaming on mspnewsglobal.com, and we're also streaming through the E360 TV network under Fresh Takes, going out to Apple TV, Fire TV, Android TV, Roku, and many, many more. Let's bring in our incredible guest, Lady Kendal Jaggar. Jags, welcome to the Brilliance Business Show.
It's my absolute pleasure to join you on your show today and to all your viewers.
I'm really looking forward to a conversation with you, Lady Kendal. Like I mentioned, I've never met anyone coming from a place of service like you. You just really want to help people and uplift people. The first thing I want to talk about is mental health. My first question is, why are you such a big advocate of mental health, Jags?
Because I suffered with mental health issues personally myself, and a dark journey of coming through, trying to reach out, frightened to speak out of how I felt inside with the grief that I felt, and to be able to finally free yourself and come out and be able to talk about it and realise there's no shame in falling. There's no shame if you've suffered from mental health issues. There is the power in your mind that sometimes we feel we're broken. We don't understand how to get ourselves out of that darkness. But when you do see the light and you do step towards the light and heal yourself inside and understand it wasn't your fault. When you think with mental health, it's your fault. You've done this to yourself. You've caused this. You suffer more in silence. And, you know, there was a huge stigma around mental health, and that you were seeing that, you know, many years ago, when we go back in history with mental health, that you were put away, you know, you were seen to go into psychiatry wards or stuff like that, because people didn't know how to express what you were going through or how to deal with that. You just shut it off. You just, for me, it was like every day reaching out, not for a different hat, or it was like putting, what mask will I wear today? Who will I be today? And so you hid behind that mask. But to free your face of that mask and open up and say, this is simply me. This is who I am. If I can't please you, then I'm sorry. If I'm not good enough, I'm sorry. But I'm entitled to be simply me as anybody else that has suffered. And there is no shame at all that you have felt the emotion. Because with mental health, it's a fine line, which when people say the first sign of madness when you're speaking to yourself. But when you're speaking to yourself, you're actually trying to hear these voices. People say you're hearing voices in your head. You're actually talking to yourself, say, how can I express this? How can I do it? So mental health is important. It's important to speak out. And if you can speak out, and by speaking out, whoever you are, to say, I suffer like Prince Harry, there's people all around the world now, being able to do that. People will always throw a stone. People will always troll you. They'll always try and cause you pain. But you know what? Let them be that person. Because inside that, they've got their own issues.
Yes.
And inside they're covering it by, like with bullying, etc. They cover this by their own issues they have to deal with themselves. So speak out and stand tall. Let the stones be thrown at you, but your body and yourself, you can fight back. You are entitled to be simply you.
It's not your fault. Powerful words there, Jags. Could you, now I don't want you to go into every single detail, but would you just mind sharing a couple of the challenges and difficulties that you personally went through?
I went through, as a child, a lovely childhood, but secondary school and bullying. Bullying to an extent that it was painful. So painful. I remember the fear of coming after those, when break bell rang, that those girls would be waiting for me in that playground. They were going to hurt me. And I didn't know what to do. You try to be somebody's friend. You try to fit into that group. Will they do this? Will they do? Do you know what? They hurt me mentally so bad, that I wouldn't go. And they would wait and get all the people there in the group going, hit her. And this crowd of people that hit her. Well, I would say to my parents, I don't feel very well today. I feel sick. I stopped eating. And it was awful. My parents said, please eat. In the end, they broke me so bad that I did, take it to the next level, which I should never have done, and the pain that causes, that my father had me in his arms, rushing me into a hospital to bring me back, and understanding why would, because you tried to hide this pain that was going on and being done in there. And with these girls saying, what am I doing wrong? Because I had all the nice clothes, I had everything like that. But they only wanted to be my friend to take. I want that blouse. I want that. I'm having that. Get that for me. I want it. Please, can I have that? If not, I'm going to get the bullies on you. So I would give them everything. I felt by giving them that, they could, I would fit. I would be accepted. Your friends that going in on there, your teeth wasn't straight, your hair wasn't right, with this. But it was basically jealousy. Jealous of that and their own things they're not having at home. When I was kind, I'd give anybody my last penny, and the shame that's in it. So yes, that affected me badly. And I had to look at my parents and think, this isn't right. This, I was put on here for a reason. But with suffering with that, it was still a scar. And then as I went through, to go out when you have your job, you're learning, and to go out with that thing, we see people, and I hate bullying. It makes me feel physically sick. Doesn't matter how many years pass, you always remember those scars. What you've got to learn to do is not let the scars and that weep and to come out. And then as I progressed through life, not eating, doing that, getting myself back with help to go on there, I then suffered medically with having meningitis as a small child left me with epilepsy. And, different tests that they were doing on that. And so then people, would laugh at you if you had these things. There actually was narcolepsy. So you would fall asleep and cataplexy, all the nervous system, and all this nervous system coming from back in on that. And then having my own child that I lost left deep, deep pain. And then at the age of 25, being told I couldn't be a mother anymore. Yeah, they took my womb, they took my ovary, they did everything that was taken away. And thinking, that played with my mental health. Why? And so they done the hysterectomy. I lost my child, come home from hospital. My brother came to visit me. He was due to get married 7 weeks later, and said, and I was due to be a bridesmaid. I was, because I would have had the baby going on, and he was killed leaving my home. So then came the deep darkness of mental health, where I hated everything. Why was I put here? Why was I to be subject to so much pain? Just take me. I'm obviously somebody that shouldn't have been here. So then you start destroying yourself. Because if you punish yourself, you think, punish yourself enough, you're gone, you're away, and you're doing that. That if my brother hadn't have come to visit me, he would have still been alive today. And through learning and doing grief counselling and studying to be a grief counsellor myself, I healed myself through that to understand it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault that happened to him. But when I saw my parents cry every day for the loss of their child, you do feel that.
Yes.
And that mental health from that. And it was very, very difficult, very, very painful. But it took me on a road that, when I used to see people go, I was worth something. I couldn't go back to that girl in my father's arms, rushing through there. I had a purpose. I must have a purpose for being here, feeling, and you lose all your low self-esteem and what you're doing and wondering, I just give up. You get dark days, you get trigger days, when it comes to anniversaries and things. What can I do? Through this, I am worth something. And it was finding, and you have to look at yourself and hiding it, trying to put the masks on to go, oh, I feel wonderful today. Inside, you're so broken. And reach up. If you showed somebody your true self, that they wouldn't like you. They would stone you. They would do. We all have this mental health side. And for myself was, I've got to do something about it. So I studied and studied. And while studying was healing myself to help somebody else, that there is no shame. So this happened to me. So what you're going to do, stone me? Call me everything under there? I'm a freak, I'm this and that. No, I'm not. I am me. And God made me to be on this earth. And I have a right for my heart to beat. I don't care that I have hidden disabilities. But I'm allowed to be me. I'm allowed to have a voice. And I'm allowed to have my voice listened by somebody's ear. And if I can help them, be kind, find something for them, then I can. And I don't care if I'm on my own every day. You can't get out. You can't do this. Or you can do. You can study from any disabilities in the world of disability and equality. We are entitled to be that. And no matter where you are, your heart beats, your mind matters, and mental health matters. And people that are cruel or treat people with mental health issues in the wrong way, they're the bad people. They're bad. You have your issues. You need to deal with them because there is nothing wrong with having that. It's learning a balance and balancing every day your emotions and what you're doing. So for me, there was there's a lot more, but I could go on forever. But I am an advocate for mental health, and I'll be the first person. And as a radio presenter for Women's Radio Station.com, I'm proud to be part of such a wonderful station that believes in you, whether you have disabilities, no matter what, whether you suffered anxiety. When you talk about miscarriages, when you talk about bullying, when you talk about homophobia, whatever you have the right to free your mind and talk about it.
Firstly, Lady Kendal, thank you so much for sharing some of those obstacles that you have been through. Now I know why we get on so well. There's quite a lot of similarities with my life, with bullying, etc. And to lose a child and then to lose a brother, these are really testing times that unfortunately people have to go through. But you are shining a light that challenges make us stronger. You found your purpose, you found your passion, and you have turned it to a life of service and helping others, which is truly inspirational. So I want to say a real big thank you for sharing some of those challenges that you have been through. So I will come back to mental health shortly, and we really will talk about womensradiostation.com that I was recently on, and the second episode is coming as well. So we will talk around that and more at the end of the interview. Let's go on a little bit into your career because it's fascinating. You're a news reporter and you also do travel journalism and a travel writer. Tell us more about this, Lady Kendal.
Well, when you're at home and you're looking and you have a passion for writing and food, etc., and what we want as a person, what we expect to go in there. And it's again with mental health, getting the best. And so I embarked on a wonderful journey studying travel journalism that took me all, around the world. You'd have to write articles and send them across. And when I qualified in that, and it's wonderful to show that the world, our earth, is full of so much culture, beauty, history, that our brain is a muscle that needs us all, so when you go and you want to suddenly think, right, instead of you want to go and enjoy a relaxing beach holiday, say to the Maldives, where you can sit on powdery white sands but expressing your opinion, you're expressing your opinion to somebody to say, well, this is what it offers. Does it fit what you would like to do? And what you're doing, you are expressing the different things. If you like to go diving, snorkeling, or you simply just want to go and shut down for 2 weeks, for instance, in the Maldives, and just feel as close as you possibly can to heaven on this beach, where you're just giving your body, you're healing. But you may like the city and shows, and you have this electricity that drives you inside to say, I want to see music, I love art, the passion. And that's what it is an expression, and showing people the world really, and how interesting it is. So for that part, so that came along then with the being a world food critic, renowned critic, doing it.
I love food.
Oh, and the thing is, when you do go, is again don't accept things that aren't right, but also think of the people that are in there that have trained to go in. And now with food, the creativity that comes out with food, when you think we go back years and years ago, it's not, our taste buds are ignited to such infusion that hits our palate, that magnifies the brain to send sensations through. That, you know, for people who need chocolate for a fix, you know, what you can get with chocolate explodes into your mind and helps and makes you feel good as well. But it's also, we all work hard for our money. Everybody works hard for that. When you're going and you're right and say, is that right? Is that acceptable? If you're going into a restaurant, they're going to charge you £200 for a meal, and you think, do you know what? That was awful, because it has the name on. Think of why you're doing it. And if you are asking somebody to go, and that's coming on my plate, medium rare steak, it should be medium rare. That's what you want. That's how it should come out. And exploring again. And when you work with Michelin stars and restaurants, they work so hard, and the training and the passion, and for their legacy for themselves. If you're this chef, you know, they want to showcase their creativity side, but at the same time, it has to be correct, you know, in what you're doing. At the same time, I also look, because we are in a world where there are lots of bloggers and go into restaurants, and people want feedback to see, you know, if there's any improvement they can do. But they can also be very damaging when somebody leaves a comment, and you can close these restaurants down by somebody going in and go,
Yes.
that was rubbish, this is this, and go down. And it hurts that restaurant chain. So it's important to get, again, balance, that people are allowed that freedom of speech. Not saying because you're a critic that this has to be right, or we're right, where it's another expression of our mind. But when you are, or if you are filling in TripAdvisor, if it's not right, look at your wording. If it was completely, go directly to the restaurant first and explain that. I mean, there was in the news just this last week, where a very well-known chain humiliated some diners that came in. Basically, they were after the free meal, even give the guy a wink as he went out. Didn't pay, you know, which was wrong. If that food was not right, you should say then, you know, there's no need to shout, there's no need to explain what's it. If you're not getting that, then use the correct procedures. Going
Yeah.
in and shutting it, you know, there could have been something complete wrong or not to your taste buds, etc. So we have to really think how we comment, because that affects people that's
I
going on there.
agree.
And regarding the news, oh, I love news. Because I'm a people's person and listening, you know, and the media, you know, we're telling a story, and that story that's going out to say exactly, you know, like the Sarah Everard murder, you know, I covered that. And I couldn't sleep at night with that, you know, and I just felt as her family, what happened. But when you have a passion inside to express and know that pain that's going, and trying to tell, you're telling a story. It's all, life is a story. And no matter whatever you're writing as an author, what you're doing on the TV now, we are telling a story. What we have to try our best at is not to cause pain when you are telling the story. Yes, you have to tell the
Yes.
facts. Yes, you have to do it. Some of it can be painful or distressing. Like when I interviewed yourself on the radio show, this could be distressing for people, warning like that. But don't add falseness to it.
Yes,
Tell the
which
truth,
sometimes
but
in
think
media they
about
do.
the person that you are affecting when you write that. If you're going to go straight in, you know, and attack somebody on that, but try and do your best and tell the
Yes.
story the best. Reporting, you know, that it's not all negative. You know, unfortunately, there are things that aren't nice that come out, but we need to understand this for safety for women. If we didn't report on Sarah Everard and the safety of women coming back, like with Julia James and the other lady, you know, safety is important. If that wasn't reported, we wouldn't know that women have to be more. You know, there's a lot of it about, and the Metropolitan Police are working very hard to try their very best to bring things out so it's safer for ladies, because obviously for them what came out with Wayne Couzens has left such anger within a force because they're all being judged by one person that we forget the good that they do. There are mistakes, but we are human beings. And in any company, if you're writing a letter, you may do some spelling mistakes. There are mistakes in life, but you can't punish and torture somebody for it. We have to look what went wrong, how to fix it, and let's go forward and take this as a lesson. It's a lesson that we all have to learn in life, no matter what we do. So yes, the reporting, and with UK News in Pictures, which do most of the work that feeds through from there, for me and coming through and reporting it by using Twitter, which is at Lady Jaggar, which shows the news coming through, is just, we don't comment. We don't, when people will leave a comment on that, we're not going to get in a conversation with you over. We're just showing you this is what happened. The picture, the story, the headline that's in there, people will have their own conversation. We are neither judge or jury. We've simply put that out. And when there's positive stuff, I mean, there was, for instance, a young girl that she parked her mobility scooter outside her mother's house, went in, real problem with her legs, it's all done for her. Somebody came and stole her scooter. So I arranged with a couple of people that were, followers, etc., on my Twitter, and we did a Just Giving page and highlighted through media that this had happened. This girl couldn't walk. You have taken her independence away. So that theft that you did has affected, you've just gone for a short gain to get that. You've left her where she's now housebound. She can't get out. She needs that freedom and that power of being able to go out. So we raised the money to buy her another one. But a police officer had been aware of the publicity on there, and they really looked into it and got the CCTV. They caught the people and returned the scooter. So we was left in a position then. What do we do with this money? Because it's gone in there. So the consensus of most people, and when we put it out there on Twitter, was that caused that young lady immense trauma, where all weekend she couldn't get out, for 4 days locked in to scar. So we decided to give her the money into her bank to go away and enjoy, because it was over Easter it happened. They'd taken her Easter away, couldn't get out, she couldn't go anywhere, and she took a lovely holiday on the gift of people who simply have kindness in their heart to think, do you know what, that's wrong. And she enjoyed a lovely time and thanked us all for doing that, which didn't cost much, just giving. And for that side, I'm proud to help somebody. When we've had, people, when now we're in the situation with death when it occurs, there's only so much in the pot when people don't have or don't plan ahead for things like this. And families are hit with disaster when they've lost a child and you have to bury somebody. There's a shortfall. People can't, have this money to put in there. So yes, helping. If I'm walking, I will donate. If I'm walking in the street and there's a musician expressing their voice, I will always put, a pound or something in there. Well done. Well done, because your voice has lifted me up with going, well done. Well done. And if that buys you a coffee, does anything, or, if you're in London and somebody's there and they're hungry, so you get them something. In New York, when I was in New York, I came out and this lovely gentleman who was homeless was sitting by the side of a gospel church as I was going to the gospel, because I love to hear gospel music, sitting out there. And he said, do you have any spare change? And I said, unfortunately, I don't, because, it was the dollars and stuff in there. And he said, no, that's fine. It was very nice of you to even answer me. And on that note, I said, but you are hungry? And he said, yes. So I said, but I have a card. So I went into the McDonald's. I bought the biggest coffee and food to give him. But I also paid and bought some gift vouchers. So I didn't give him money to go on. I said, you will eat, as far as I'm concerned, a meal every day, whether it was junk or not. But at least he had some warm coffee he could get. And that because
Lady Kendal, we need more people in the world with these belief systems and the way they treat others. Kindness is a strength, never a weakness. More kindness. And I love the way you are reporting the news. Yes, you're putting the news out there, so we're getting the honest truth, which people do want, but it's not coming from a one-sided angle. You're just putting it out there, which is a great way to do journalism. And I think mainstream media should take note of that, because far too many times we're getting too much negative kind of reporting as well. Now, Lady Kendal, please stay where you are. I've got to do a quick 1-minute commercial break, so stay where you are. Thank you everyone for joining us for part 1 of Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. Stay tuned.
Hello everybody, Cyberchuck 2.0 here. I'm so excited to be able to share my vision of Dreamweavers Artist Ranch. They say you can't choose your family. Not only am I saying you can choose your family, you get to thrive with your family here at Dreamweavers Artist Ranch. It's a place for like-minded individuals to come together to share experiences and gain experiences, not only through workshops, through performances, and through exhibits. This is a place where you can disconnect from the outside world and reconnect into a community of people that there is no judgment. There's only support. And this place is an amazing place to grow and to tap into your highest potential and to be able to show off all your talents. This is a place you can come and network and really thrive. I'm so excited for Dreamweavers Artist Ranch. This is a place where dreams actually come true. I love you all so very much. I'll talk to you all later. Peace.
Welcome back to Brilliance Business TV. We are having a conversation with the incredible lady Kendal Jaggar. She has shared her personal journey, like myself, going through bullying from a young age. She shared having the death of a child, the death of a brother, but she carried on into a positive future. She is now a successful journalist, radio host, mental health advocate. Welcome back to Brilliance Business TV, Jags.
Oh, thank you. No, it's pleasure. Pleasure.
We've touched on some great topics. And as we were talking about you giving to the homeless guy on the streets of New York, that is actually about my next question. You do a lot of work on homelessness, death and medicine, and children's rights. Just give us a little bit of an overview of all that work.
Because people who are homeless, there are mental health issues there. You know, the person that you're walking past, don't cast judgment. This is somebody, and for instance, one of the gentlemen I know locally, when we go, when people go around and ensure that they're safe, he was a headmaster of a school, but he lost his wife, who he loved, and couldn't cope, couldn't live in the house that they'd built and worked so hard for, that destroyed him so much that grief was eating away at him like a disease, that in the end he walked out of that home, couldn't do it, and started walking every day. To in the end he never went back and just sat there alone, then living on the streets. Money wasn't important. He wanted his wife back. He wanted his world back, and he just suffered. And until he can go and cross the other side to be back in his mind will never be free. He doesn't want to free that. He is so incapable. And with homeless people, you have to think there are issues there. So when you walk past that homeless person, you know, people spit at them, they kick them. And what they are taught to think, why like that? You can get somebody that's homeless, and you know there is, you know, people that, like with COVID, where they're put in hotels. You have to, you know, and it's very difficult for people with mental health to work with them, because they don't want to be trapped in there. They want to just be where they are, and they're not doing any harm. They're not hurting anybody. That's their life. Some others are where they physically cannot afford to live and do their homes and going in there, and that freedom to belong. And there are issues there. So my thing to it, whenever you walk past home, stop and think, that could happen to you.
Yes.
Our mind can go. Like, we have to be very mental health awareness. Treat people as you wish to be treated yourself.
Yes.
If you've punished yourself and you've hurt yourself and you've done wrong, you've failed. You should stand back up, learn that lesson, get the help that's required, and then make your journey worthwhile doing. But don't cast stones, because it hurts, because people then can't fix themselves if you keep throwing stones at them. You know, like with that. So as you were saying, with the homeless, death and medicine. Death and medicine, you know, that was very powerful, and why I looked in towards that, because of losing my child, losing my brother's stuff, and the spiritual world. I very much believe there is another place.
Me too.
Completely. When people go these things, I think there is somewhere that we go.
Yes,
I believe in that. We're here for a reason. We have been sent here to learn lessons of life that we will take with us, and that then will decide what we do and the legacy and love that you're leaving behind with them. So with death and medicine, I look at, because people fear death, they're scared of death. It's a bit like people that go to prison, you know, or that are in there. The dead can't hurt you. It's the people who are alive.
Yes, my nan used to say that.
And that is very important. The people that are alive. And for people that go to prison that have done wrong, with rehabilitation is important. Rehabilitation works. It gets out there and it does work. And don't throw a stone at the person that hasn't. There's issues or reasons why that happened. They've come out rehabilitated. Give them a chance.
I have a brother who's in prison, Lady Kendal, and he comes out of prison and goes back in again. And it is really important that they're supported when they come out of prison.
Exactly, with drug addiction, and that support. Don't, whatever it is, to come on, let's help fix, not fail. Let's not keep, you know, pushing them down. So I think that's really important in that, because when they're in that, at least the people that they are, you know who they are. Their stories being told. They did this. They did. You know exactly who they are. When you're walking the streets, you don't know who they are. That's the difference. Who are coming in with that? You know, how many sheep are in, you know, wolf's clothing, you know, or wolf in sheep's clothing. Sorry, wrong, reverse thing on there. But it's the power of the mind to help. And as I said, if we fail, there is no shame. Stand tall. It's a lesson, maybe a very hard lesson, but don't be condemned. Don't be condemned. Look at how you can make the wrong a right. Turn the negative into a positive. We have to be
true
positive.
Inspiration.
And for anybody that's in forever, if you are dealing with somebody that, you know, there's lots of issues. There's so many issues that we can talk about. And like you're saying, with children and child psychology, dealing with that, you know, I look at children in that way, because we need to fix at the root. You know, we need to go there and make sure that, a lot of issues with mental health go back to childhood. Let's look at the child and nurture the child.
Yes.
Let's deal with these issues. Let's deal with bullying and everything in the schools. Education is the best form of tool for our mind. The alphabet is our training, and our training and use of that alphabet is what we are. We learn to say mum, dad, brother, sister, hello. We're also taught, whether you're saying cruel or nasty words like gay, lesbian, freak, ugly, these are dirty, negative words that are taught. Let's not teach children those. Let's show them the psychology and give them the counselling and the nurture and say, this is how. We're never going to live in a perfect world, but we have to learn lessons. When somebody dies, grief hurts, but when somebody does pass, we look at their legacy and their love and why they come, and it hurts, and that pain hurts, but that pain hurts so bad because that pain hurts because that love was real.
It's totally incredible, the work, the efforts, the research, the support that you're putting into all of these really important issues that people are going through, Jags, and you're so passionate and coming from a place of service. I am just really inspired by how great you are doing with all of these great causes. It's really, really inspirational. You also learned sign language, didn't you, Lady Kendal?
Yes, I did. It's another form of speech. It's another form of our voice, and to express that. So people that can't speak, that need sign, they have a right to express their inner self, their emotion. And, even you learn 5 or 6 key words, in sign that you can do. And, now we see on media and on TV, a lot of people are signing more. And even, if we look at the soaps, Coronation Street, from one that you went to and did an audition for, even they're bringing sign in there. Sign is a recognised language. And the British, sign language is important. Learn that. Be able to speak. Just try. Just try something, and to help. Because you never know. Somebody may be in difficult. There may be a woman or a man in trouble on the street, and they could be deaf. And they don't know how to signal this or dial this number, but where they can learn. And one of the things they're doing is sending you a sign to show in sign language of SOS to help that people know this sign to go in there. Just be kind, be helpful. Think of everybody else in that. And I'm no better than anybody. I've fallen like other people have fallen. You've fallen. So we're going to stone us, as I said. No, what we're doing is using what happened to us. Not to say, hey, look, we did this and we're super. We're not. We are all the same, as I say.
Yes.
What defines us is inside. And those tools are those alphabet and those words are what teach us the right words to say. And it's getting the right words. Use that alphabet to empower, to help, and be kind. Let's not keep all this nastiness and this negative. Let's be positive.
We have such similar values, Lady Kendal. It's something I say all of the time. No one is above you. No one is below you. We're all the same. We are just so on the same page. It's unbelievable. Now, we are coming to the last 5 minutes of the show. I will definitely have you on again as well to talk about any topics that are really important to you, Lady Kendal. I just really want to talk now for the last 5 minutes all about Free Your Mind with Lady Kendal Jaggar. I have been fortunate to have been a guest last week on Lady Kendal's radio show on womensradiostation.com. Part 2 is coming on the 8th of December. So feel
The
free.
8th of November.
8th of November, my apologies. So feel free to go back and watch the episode that we did together. Check out this show. It's supporting mental health. It's not just for women either. Men are free to listen into these conversations as well. Lady Kendal, tell us all about your show, Free Your Mind.
Free Your Mind with LKJ is an unbiased, unjudgmental show. We have celebrities on there. We have everyday walks of life people, because as I said, everyone's voice is to be heard.
Yes.
And if that voice has problems, if you can, when the people come on my show and you can express that and there's support there, is to express those words, get them out, get that pain out, and let's heal that pain, and let's have no shame in the world of what it is to help. I've had, like yourself, wonderful on there. We've talked about drug addiction, etc. Had a wonderful lady on there, Louise Warnford, 18 miscarriages, desperate to be a mother.
Wow.
And at the age of 48, finally became a mother after donor eggs and everything. After she learnt about killer cells that was doing this, it wasn't her fault these babies were going. But an amazing and powerful show for what she's gone through. And little William now, he's 5 and enjoying life with her. But she's wrote a book. I think it's called Baby Dreams. I'm sure it's Baby Dreams. And to help people do that. I then had a wonderful actor on there, Sen Monroe, who spoke about himself being a film director, actor, and life. But there's still mental health issues, in there that he explains. And he empowers as well, with people to work with that. I had a wonderful guest, Captain Ellis, on the show, who talked about divorce. And for a man as a captain, this strong exterior to come on and free his mind, unbiased, unjudgmental, to say, because he read this book, Men Are From Mars, Women From Venus, trying to find love again. 30 years of scars lived for his children, was his children, the new way of dating, etc. like that. I also have a wonderful guest coming on, Lauren Swift. This girl lost her confidence in lockdown. And I think she's coming on to your show.
She is, yes. You
with
kindly recommended her.
Yes, because she just took where she lost her confidence in COVID to singing in the dark.
Yes,
and
she's got a beautiful voice.
Oh, and my thing now is to try and get her. I've got her into a recording studio. I've got some gigs in Canterbury. No money. I don't want anything from that. My greatest pleasure is to see her sing in the light, get her out of the dark. That is it. And with any show, people want to come on and express it there, and just free your mind. It's surprising how you feel after that. And most guests have been happy once they freed their mind to think, do you know what? They cried after, they're emotional, but they've got it out. And that's the thing, you've started to open up.
It's like therapy. You are such a great host, Lady Kendal. You really elaborate on what the guest has said. You dig deeper. You ask really great questions to really get out the good, the bad, the ugly again, so that we're sharing an honest view of the topics that we're talking about. I really, really admire the way that you interview people. You're a great host. I want to encourage everyone out there to check out Free Your Mind with LKJ at womensradiostation.com. That's womensradiostation.com, womensradiostation.com. com. That's a great domain name as well. And I know they get lots of traffic, don't they?
They do. I think it's 4 to 5 million. They have just won an award again for being the best mental health online radio. You know, the awards winning, the money that's there to support and help people. You know, when you come onto the show and donate to that, you are helping. You are helping. And this show, which is the women's radio station and men's, truly is wonderful, because it's not about us, it's about you.
Yes.
And support, and noting that, you know, we're there. These are issues that happen. They don't need to be hidden anymore and go, oh, I heard you on radio doing this, that. No, you know, it shouldn't happen. Bullying has to stop. Fat shaming has to stop. I mean, there's a big thing at the moment, you know, with Steve Allen, and people that will know what they're looking at, wasn't happy with that whatsoever, and he knows I wasn't.
Yes, I saw
you
that.
know, with Tilly Ramsey, that poor girl is 19 years of age. She should not have been subject to that, and his harmful words and mocking. You're a radio host. You should know better.
Yes,
Don't
I
treat
agree.
people like that. And, you know, there's a big issue, and then going with that. And, you know, for me, I'm very strong on that. Don't hurt somebody. That hurt or that thing, you scar them.
Yes.
Don't cast the stone. Don't throw a stone and hurt somebody. It doesn't make you a big person for picking up that stone and think, ha, I've hit them like that. Do you know what? It shows you're weak. You might be able to
agree.
stone,
I agree.
but in that end, that stone that you've thrown is going to cause you deeper pain, because when it comes back, it's going to crush you because you've done that. Be kind.
Lady Kendal, I have thoroughly enjoyed having a conversation with you. Thank you so much for being my guest today. Everyone, check out Free Your Mind with LKJ. Go to womensradiostation.com. That's womensradiostation.com. Lady Kendal, give us a sentence to inspire anyone out there who is suffering with mental health. I'll let you have the closing line today.
If you are suffering with mental health issues, the first thing you must do is open your mouth and free those words, help. Those 4 words of help will go, and then spell into your mind, breathe. B-R-E-A-T-H-E. Allow your body to come down, and then step forward. That first foot, it will be there. Don't hold it in. Let it out. And the love and support that is there all around by saying, help. You will be surprised. And we are there, and there's no shame. Let your voice be heard.
Beautiful words. Thank you, everyone, for watching Brilliance Business.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.